Hi guys, so it's episode 2 of TimeOut. I finally named it. I to be honest, I really struggled with finding a name for this because it's, I don't know, it's like, I don't like, okay, well I'll just leave it at this. It was really hard to figure a really good name for this show, so I'm just going to call it TimeOut because, you know, we're not playing or anything like that. We're just sitting down, we're going to check out demos, we're going to evaluate everything and see what's actually going on in the game. Is going to have a closer look where we can slow things down, look at the overview, maybe rewind stuff, and try to get an idea of what's happening and get a better understanding of what these top level teams are doing, if not for the sake of improving our own understanding of the game of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, but also to just gain insight into how teams play, because it's really interesting, and this is something that there needs to be more of, is I think a more widespread understanding of how different teams play, because different teams do play differently, and we're going to see that in this episode. And you can see I've got quite a lot of notes. I've filled out this front and back with notes. So we've got quite a few rounds to go through, and this is of course going to be Dignitas versus Cloud9 from the ESL One tournament, of course, which just finished, and it was an amazing tournament. Broke so many records in viewership. You're gonna have to ignore the hair. I think it's probably going to help me my analysis. That's what I'm going with. I electrified myself before doing the show, so I could be, you know, on the show with loads of energy. But Cloud9 Dignitas in the group stages, and the result of this, I'm just going to spoil it because this show is not really about like watching the game itself necessarily, but more about breaking things down. But of course, Cloud9 kind of did a comeback of sorts, and it was we're going to find out exactly how they did that and what happened. So without further ado, let's go into the game and get rid of this music, shall we? Alright, so we have this. I just want to show this off quickly because actually I should sign out of friends, shouldn't I, very quickly. I know there's like not very many people watching, but it's good habit for the future. So we go sign out of friends. Alright, this is really awesome. You can see all the games from ESL One, and this is just so amazing to see that I can just easily access any demo from that entire tournament, and it's just instantly up. So here we can see I already downloaded this one because I already went through it. So we're going to watch this demo. And also another cool thing about these demos, even though this is besides the point of the show, is that you can actually hear the commentary from the event. So you can hear Anders and Semler from this game if you really want to. But unfortunately, we're going to be muting them so that we can get on with our thing. So here we just have the warm-up. And I did make binds for everything, so I can like pause, I can unpause, I can fast forward, I can pause it, I can, you know, resume at normal speed, I can slow-mo it. So we're making some improvements. The only thing that we can't do with binds is actually skip rounds. That's the only thing we can't do with binds, but that's okay. So let's just see. Okay, there we are. So just go back one more and we can see the first round. So what I did in this episode is I selected a bunch of rounds, and there's quite a lot of rounds. So we'll start at the top. We got the pistol round between Dignitas and Cloud9, with Dignitas starting off on the CT side. So let's just have a look at the pistol round. I didn't have anything particularly noteworthy on this particular round, but it is the pistol round. So let's just check out how this one goes. All right. So of course, also by the way, as we're seeing, you actually get the spectating that was done by whoever was spectating. So in this case, you know, Vendetta. So you get to see Vendetta specking. But we just have the overview popped up here. We're going to see just a quick B rush from Team Dignitas, and let's just, why not just slow-mo it? We have a slow-mo now, so let's mess around with the slow-mo. It is just a straight-up B rush. There's not much messing around here, and Zipnik spots it straight away. So in this position, he's basically forced to just make as many frags as possible. The problem with B is that with B, as you can see, it's easy to kind of fight over B, but it's really hard to take over B if they have a plant down and a post-plant setup. So that's why teams tend to do a 3-1 setup, and what I'll just do is I'll describe that quickly. This is something that I'll probably do in every single Mirage game, just because it's not every team plays like this way, but I think it's a good way to do things. So let's see. Actually, can you see me well? You can't really see the map like that. I can't really draw it up, so we'll go back to the game screen. Oops, there we go. So the thing that teams often do in this spot is they have 3 players here, one who peeks from the window to get a vision of what's going on up mid, and then one who plays in this little space here. And of course, the way that this works is it's the presumption that retaking A is like much Space clear. Look, see it says space clear drawing. I'm pressing space, nothing's happening. Anyway, so this area A is of course much easier to retake because you can come through connector, you can come through jungle, you can come through CT spawn, and maybe you can even have a player who can come through from T spawn. So that's really good. And none of my binds are working right now. I can draw on the map, but none of the binds are working. So I may have to just restart the game here. And actually, I can't. Wait, what is happening exactly? I think I've got an idea what's happened. I think what it's done is it's brought up the demo UI. But I think what we'll do, just to be quick, we'll actually just kill the process here. So 1 second, I'm gonna have to kill the process because it's crashing on me now, which is brilliant. I love technical issues and stuff like this, but that's all right. We'll get back to the face cam then whilst I fix this. But the point I was making, as I can continue to make that point whilst the game's loading again, is basically when it comes to Mirage, it's a lot easier to retake A than it is to retake B. So that's the decision making going on there. So you can have 3 guys at B straight away, even with a flash and a Molotov, and that way, if there's a super fast B rush, you're sorted. Some teams who are very confident in their B defense do like to do 2 players on there. But if you're a lesser team, I think it's a much easier, much safer option to do a 3-1-1 like I talked about, where you leave your middle peeker and your CT spawn guy kind of just playing in a way is to make sure that they don't die. That's kind of their idea. They have to survive until backup comes. And so we're just loading up the demo again here, as we should be able to see now. Let's see. And hopefully everything works again. We don't get another crash. Hopefully we get the crash out the way with straight away, and then there's no more crashes in the future. It is giving me a weird symbol though, so hopefully it's gonna be fine and not complain anymore. All right, just go into the game. God damn it. And okay, my binds are still good. All right. So I'm just gonna close some processes just to make absolutely sure. So all right, we're getting back into this, getting back to where we were. All right, so let's get ourselves into the round that we were in. Okay, so here we go. I'll just speed it up a little bit. We can just use Vendetta's spec here, but you can see that Dignitas go for this 2-1-2 here, where Fetish spots, and they got like a fairly defensive setup here. You know, Dupree, he's not going to die. Is it working? Yes. Dupree's not going to die here. If he spots players down on slope, he's got this angle here. He's not going to die, and they're probably going to narrow down pretty quickly that it's actually going to be this B. So now we get to see, of course, the actual take or attempted take of the B site. Doesn't go so well because it's pretty good defense. This is just individual performance, really. Good team play and individual performance from Dignitas, and Cloud9 not quite hitting their shots. So it's, you know, pretty simple dynamic on the pistol. So now we go into round number 2, and this is where things get a little bit interesting, because we have this situation where Cloud9 is actually going to go pistol armor. We're going to see that Cloud9 pistol armor now, and what will happen is, from just a good execution, they're actually going to win A. And again, it's one of those rounds where it's a good call from Cloud9 which way to attack, but it's largely down to an individual performance and entry fragging. And we are going to see that. Let's see, I think it is Nothing who gets a really sick frag, and Vendetta's stuck on the... Let's go to Nothing here. That's fine, Nothing. Nothing gets a pretty sick shot with a CZ on a guy at Toll Booth on the entry. So basically they win the entry frags. But the reason why this round is significant and why I wanted to show it is because of what happens in the following rounds. This round is going to put Dignitas in a really awkward position when it comes to the economy. So here we go. We've got Sean Gares getting a pick with a deagle, and then let's just speed this up a little bit. And here we go. So you can see Nothing going to get the frag there. So that was pretty damn nice to get both entries into the site. And now it's a pretty ridiculous situation, 4 versus 2. So we can just speed it up a little bit. This is Zipmix trying to come in, and it's going to be a pretty awkward situation. And of course he's gonna go down. So we go into the next round here, and let's talk about this quickly, because what we see is an AWP on Fetish. So before we actually see much of the round, let's check out what this actually is, because, you know, Fetish, he didn't buy anything on the last round because he was saving for that quick AWP, and he's going to be able to afford that with no armor. So it's a really interesting dynamic and decision that Dignitas now have, because how do they use this AWP? Where do they put this AWP? this is a really crucial thing, because the entire possibility to win this round is completely based on how Fetish is used here, because he's going to be able to get the... Okay, I can load the in-game a little bit. Because he's going to be able to get potentially a quick couple frags with an AWP, and it will be a surprise as well to Cloud9. So, you know, we have to think, okay, does he just peek mid like this? Well, that's actually quite risky, because on a round like this, it's very common for Cloud9 to be very, you know, confident. They're going to have some rifles. It's very, very, very common for them to actually all come out here, almost all of them, if not all of them, to stick together and come out there. And if that's the case, then Fetish is actually going to be facing like against 3 guys maybe at once. So unless he's extremely quick, which of course, you know, you can be quick and take a frag, it's definitely going to be pretty tough. But we also have to consider his spawn. So Fetish didn't really get a spawn that's really quick enough as he would like to do a move like that would be safe on window. So this really leaves him with a couple decisions, either going Palace, which offered this spawn, which doesn't make a lot of sense if he wants to, you know, do something aggressive with the AWP, or he goes Connector. And so, you know, now we've kind of evaluated some of his best moves. Connector is definitely the best one, and we're actually going to see that that will be the one that he takes. Of course, I'm cheating a little bit because I know what happens as I watch this, but we're going to see Fetish here, and this is really, really important, because Fetish is going to move out here. And again, Fetish, it's all about him for Dignitas. Like, insanely good flick shot there from him. And so, let's take stock of the situation now. Fetish saw not one, but he actually heard or saw another player, more or less, there. And we can see they've got a lot of players in mid here, and they've been making a lot of noise. And Device is very close to Connector. So this is all about Fetish now, getting a good position. So Cloud9 have to try to understand how to basically disable Fetish and take the AWP out of the equation without actually killing him. And they have a lot of nades to be able to do that, because the AWP, obviously, now they're already down a man, can turn things around very, very quickly. So let's actually see, you know, how this plays out a little bit. Let's go into half speed, and we're going to, as we're on half speed, we're going to see how the movement from Cloud9 works on mid and how they decide to handle this. They smoke out window. As there is an AWPer, that is pretty much the most dangerous place an AWPer could peek out for them right now. They smoke off short as well, so there can't be any weird pushes from short, and they smoke off Connector. So now Dignitas are in a position where they have no idea exactly as to the movement of Cloud9. So Cloud9 are making some stepping noises, but generally speaking, it's not really a big tell just yet for what they're doing to Dignitas. So this is really horrible for Fetish, because how does Fetish play this? We can see that he's gone and moved over here. So Fetish is over there, but he's smoked off. He can't get a shot on. And all the meanwhile, this entire area is being pushed and taken by Cloud9. So Fetish is completely useless out here. And this is like the best case scenario for Cloud9. And this is what they were thinking of trying to do. Trying to, you know, create a situation where Fetish is not useful. Luckily for them, you know, Fetish didn't go the right way, as we will resume at normal speed here. We're going to see Cloud9 clean up. So that was kind of the danger, and this was a consideration for Cloud9 in this round. How do we make sure that Fetish is out of the equation, and then on top of that, let's play a methodical anti-eco strat against the pistol armor, or, you know, anti-pistol armor. And a big concept there is to stick together. So very well handled with the smokes, and very well handled with the movement together. So really very nice by Cloud9. But to be honest as well, Dignitas, they definitely gave themselves a really nice opening in the round, and Fetish used the AWP spawn pretty effectively. So we move into round 4, and this is not a round I want to look at, so I'm going to skip past this one. Next round is the next one I want to look at, round 5. And on round 5, we have a buy to keep control of the Cloud9 economy. Because if Cloud9, if Dignitas, if we just pause here and just check out the economy, if Dignitas don't do some damage in this round, it's going to start getting really out of control for Cloud9 as far as their economy goes. They need to start hammering away, and because of the consecutive round loss bonus that's going to start coming in, it's not a big loss to actually buy here. And of course you can see that what they decided to do was they decided to go for FAMAS so that they can have full grenades. And what this indicates is that they're going to play what should be a fairly standard setup, but they do have the option for aggression, and we'll see if that's something that they go for. So actually another thing to quickly consider is that a VP setup is definitely going to be very helpful. So some kind of triangular setup with a guy in shadow, a guy around connector and jungle, and a guy on site can be very effective here. But we see Fetish with a quick peek up mid, doesn't spot anything. However, Zipnix will see that there's someone on B. So right now, as far as Dignitas are concerned, with Fetish and AZ here in this mid area, they're not seeing anything on mid at all. I'm drawing dicks now, but that's what you have to do when you're drawing on maps. So they're not seeing anything in mid, and this is a big problem for them because that means that they're really kind of fearing either a play on A or a play on B. And Device and Dupree have been gathering information around this area, and they haven't spotted anything just yet either. So Cloud9, and okay, this is one of the most dangerous things about Mirage, and this is something that I realized to more extent from watching this game. So on Mirage, let's think about overpass a little bit. Or underpass. Let's actually just look at Sean Gares here. Underpass, this area is basically it's a direct route to connector here, basically. Of course, everyone knows that. But what that means, what does it mean? You have the ability to actually pressure and provide presence with more than one player in-house and be really annoying here. And you also have a very, very quick movement towards connector if you want. And this movement goes under the window, and this movement is only really visible from a guy who's in this kind of an angle on connector. So largely you are covered, and largely if you're walking the entire way, it's hard for them to know exactly where you are, and you can pop out that connector quite quickly. And if you're actually able to do this, it can provide a very, very good A-split setup. This is what we're actually going to see from them. They're going to be able to do an A-split setup through connector, through slope, and through palace. So they got these 3 directions of attack at once. And because they showed presence here, Xyp9x and aahhh are going to be fairly reluctant to actually commit to middle for too long and commit to an A rotation. It's going to be, the whole point is obscuring the information for the CTs, and this is something that the use of underpass does very well, or the fact that it's there, it enables you to do that. So let's check out actually how this plays out here as we remove all the fancy arrows that I've been drawing. So again, just half speed so we can really take in everything that's happening, because there's a lot of movement on the map right now, and we are going to be able to see that a bit more clearly in a slower speed.
Deploying flashbang. I'm throwing smoke.
And maybe I'll go normal speed now, because I can't remember how long exactly it takes, who knows. But now we're starting to see that movement on underpass here. And look at Xyp9x and aahhh. Look at that. The extra smoke here from Cloud9, this was really the presence that we're talking about. A quick smoke to really make things really strange for them will buy them just enough time to get up here, and for aahhh to go back from this area, for Cloud9 to actually get to connector relatively unchallenged, if not completely unchallenged. And you know, that is a beautiful thing. And we'll see that Fetish is kind of looking up short like this, but he's not actually going to see those guys at connector. And so we have a really big issue here or rather, Dignitas has a really big issue here. So now Cloud9, this is the setup. This is this whole setup they've been trying to accomplish. The B distraction into connector, the A split's going to hit now. So let's see how this actually goes from Vendetta's spectating. We see Device, great Molotov to remove him from that position. And the timing works out, 3 angles at once. And we can see that Cloud9 are really executing on top of that. So this is a beautiful, beautiful standard round from Cloud9. And I want to draw a comparison. Of course, by the way, we should actually take note of the decision making for aahhh here. aahhh in a 1-on-2. Let's just go back here, because these kinds of situations, I shouldn't be too quick to actually move on to another point. Let's quickly go back on the round, and then we'll jump back to this situation where aahhh is in what should in theory be a rather impossible situation. So let's just jump back to him over here, and we're just gonna run through the entire round really quick here. You can see the overview. We can see aahhh and Fetish bit of mid control, but then they're not sure what's happening, so they fall back into their safer positions where they're not exposed. And then now we start to see the real round commence. So aahhh suddenly, after realizing that perhaps nothing might be coming B, we're going to see him turn around here. So let me speed up a little bit more. And there we go. He actually catches 2 there, which I didn't notice. So that's actually quite amazing. Maybe if there had been another smoke for short, that they could have prevented that. But it's still even though they lost 2 guys to aahhh there, that means that they took the site with 4 players initially. So that's a pretty strong take. So aahhh here, he's got to check. He can't see where the bomb is planted. The bomb being planted in whatever position, that can often give you a tell as to where the T's are gonna be. But of course, you know, he had he had the angle here, so he knows that it's not really a front plant, but it could be, you know, planted here, or it could be planted here for all he knows. So it's kind of you can't really think about the bomb in that situation. It's not really going to help you to think about that. So instead, what he has to be able to do is just try to understand from the information his teammates are giving him with def cams and whatever, and that's information that we don't have, so it's a little bit harder for us. We have less information than AZ does, but AZ has to check all the positions. So what are strong positions post plant that the T's would be likely to take up here? Obviously we can see on the camera, but this is a threat in AZ's mind. The slope and Tetris, or sometimes called jump boxes, is a threat in AZ's mind. The Palace is also a threat in AZ's mind. However, the Palace one is not as common when there's two guys alive in a situation like this, because it's harder to team play together. It might work quite well, the plant just there, but as they are team playing together, they're going to look for crossfire setups, and that's really going to be the power for Cloud9. So AZ has to try to look at all those positions, and he can in his mind eliminate Palace. And so we're going to see that he's got a very good read. We're actually in half speed here. Might as well go the normal speed again. And he's going to see one peek out from Tetris. Now Hiko peeking out there is to commit to a fight is what arguably not the best move in the world, because what AZ wants, what you want in that situation is a one-on-one upon a one-on-one. That's how you win those situations, obviously, and you got to win the situations quickly as well because the bomb is ticking away. So anyway, that was that round covered, and again, just to illustrate once more, this three-pronged attack through whilst providing presence in the B area and having no one on mids, it makes it really scary for the B guys. So they're able to have a very quick attack, which is 5 on 3. Maybe sometimes 5 on 2 if the smokes are good. Maybe you got someone cut off from jungle, which I think actually happened with Fetish. So that's a very good standard round. That's something like Inferno, where you take banana control, you take apartments control, then for all the CTs now you can be hitting anywhere. That's kind of what that round was like. And just bring up my notes again quickly. Alright, so the next round I look at is the 9th round. So we're going to skip 3 rounds, and let's see what we are up to here. So we get to the 9th round now, and if you guys have anything you want to say, I am looking at the chat on my other screen as well, or anything that you want me to change, whether it's the game volume as I adjusted for Mizu. Okay, so what is happening in the 9th round? So alright, so this round is going to be about AZ's decision making. So we're going to jump onto AZ for the duration of this round, and we're going to see how things go for him. Of course, we can see on the minimap here a movement towards B.
Deploying flashbang. Throwing flashbang.
And what we're going to see here with AZ is a very important concept. Now, AZ was in a position where he is, and this might not seem like a big deal, but everything is a decision. And the sooner that we realize that, the sooner that we understand that we always have more than one option, we are able to be better players and look at the game more differently. So AZ's decision, I'm just going to go back here as I was talking over it. So let's just quickly go back to AZ, and we're going to slow-mo it and resume. AZ, quickly fast forward this up a little bit. Alright, so we're on AZ. Okay, so AZ's decision here is very important. AZ's in a spot where he knows that the rush is coming. So what do we know about B on this map? We know B is really, really hard to take. It's a bit like Banana, rather the B side on Inferno. It's hard to retake. So AZ has to make frags here. He has to make frags. So what he does is he moves into a position where he's heavily committed. Imagine the option he had there. The position that we are going to see Hiko come from towards short, and the big pillar, you're going to see it here. I'll be able to draw it. Actually, I'll draw it on the map for you guys. So this pillar that's right here, AZ had the option to go hide behind this pillar, and from this pillar he gets the option to shoot through here or through here. Those are two very good options to find some headshots and maybe make a couple frags if you're really lucky. But AZ, who was in this position and could either play defensively to allow his teammates to come in and try to take the site together, decided to commit himself right here, even though his teammate had died there. So, and this may not seem like much, but of course it was really important because AZ had to make frags, because the B site, once it gets taken quickly, is very hard to retake. So by stopping them as they're jumping out in maybe a bit of a surprise position, which it was because, of course, you know, Zipnix had just died in a very similar position, the element of surprise combined with the fact that AZ knows he has to make frags before his teammates get there means that AZ made a really good choice there. And I mean, at least that is really how I perceive this. And I'm sure there would be some that would argue that he should wait for his teammates for the retake there, but I feel like that is a pretty effective play from AZ there, and I feel like it shows that he has a pretty good understanding of the dynamic of the bomb side on this map. So the next round is around 12. Let's just jump to round 12. And I actually have, like, I think I showed it briefly, I actually have a face cam like this, so I could actually be doing this whilst and you can see the glorious analysis here. So the analysis here is pretty important. So we're jumping round. We actually jumped back some rounds here for some reason, but we're almost at 12. Okay, we're at round number 12 now, and alright, so round number 12. Alright, so okay, so this is a situation where every good in-game leader, every single good in-game leader in the business is going to be thinking about the money situation for the opposing team. They know that the money situation for Cloud9 is a little bit stretched. It's a little bit dire. We have a pretty awkward situation here, wouldn't you agree, for the money of Cloud9? With a plant and a win, you know, they'll have enough to, or rather, sorry, with a win, they'll have enough to buy. With a plant and a loss, it's still very sketchy for them. So this is a point where they're very economically unstable. And if we look at the situation for Dignitas, on the other hand, they are pretty damn stable when it comes to the money. It's only really Dupree who's not great on the money, but there's quite a lot of drops going on here, or a big potential for drops. So what happens here is that we have Dupree taking an aggressive risk when they're in a situation of economic comfort. So now we're going to move in, and we're going to see this from Dupree's perspective. As he moves in, of course we're looking at half speed here, and what are we doing? We are eliminating possibilities from where the terrorist team can actually be coming from. So quick look up, Dupree hears nothing, sees nothing. Now if he goes up the stairs all the way, then he's going to be absolutely, you know, sure exactly what's going on here. And we see actually Fetish made a pick towards mid. So with that information combined, Fetish picking towards mid and seeing one on slope and Dupree up in that position, they can very quickly eliminate that this is supposed to be some form of A split. That is what this is supposed to be. But of course they got pretty lucky, and or rather they got some good shots in on their peaks rather. When Fetish peeked in mid from connector because he had the spawn, and they managed to get the kills. And so now we're going to see Cloud9 executing. But generally, that kind of proactive play is what you need to be thinking about when you have a good money situation and when your opponent is really coming from a position of economic instability or fragility, to use two words for the same thing. So 7-5, and you know, Dignitas is starting to take a bit of an edge, and we're seeing Cloud9 able to get this buy going on. And next round is going to be 13. So right, we're going to see a very simple round here from Cloud9. We're going to see them going for this A split. So let's see exactly how that they pull this together. So again, this is another, I guess, part of the wonder of this map of Mirage. You know, one of the reasons why it's a pretty good map, and because it's partly because it requires the CT side to be quite proactive, to really 100% know what's happening, and to really try to interpret based on the small reads that they get to see what's happening. Fetish, you can see he just moves straight into mid. He's being very aggressive here, and this is partly because he feels like they're not going to have an AWPer, and instead he gets this risky pick on underpass. And if we pause it, oh, we switched to the wrong player there. If we go to middle, there he is, and we can see that he smoked himself here. So he's not really vulnerable to a quick peek. This buys him some time. This buys him quite a bit of time to actually just sit here looking for a kind of a timing. And that's what this really is. This is basically him looking for a timing. So I can't remember exactly what happens, but what I would anticipate is, because this should be a timing, like he's waiting for, like if one of them came from T-spawn and ran all the way to the stairs and then started walking and was coming down, they should come down around about now-ish. And we can see that almost happened. We actually had a player over here. It was Sean Gares, and I actually remember this from the cast. He almost peaked Fetish there. The timing almost worked perfectly for Fetish. So that is something that you can think about too. It's about timings. And what we have here from Cloud9 is a very, very slow movement around or towards mid right here. They have, of course, obviously this area here, but it's very slow into mid. They're trying to have a very defensive posture so that they can avoid any quick aggressive moves, because they understand this nature of Dignitas, that they are going to be very likely to try to go for some kind of aggressive move. So they're just playing it safe and going for a delayed take on the mid. And so we're going to see that coming into play now. And if we just check the overview, okay, now, you know, 55 seconds into the round, they've moved out into mid. It's almost as if it's like the start of a round, but they've moved out into mid. And Fetish, now he's heard a lot of information. The smoke comes in, he can't peek from there. So what does Dignitas know right now? Well, Dignitas doesn't know a great deal about what's actually happening. As we can see, Zipnix and AZ are still there, just twiddling their thumbs, because they know that they heard some stepping on B. And now we have the movement on mid, and all the smokes have obscured things greatly. But they've set up for this A split, and now it's just down to execution. And we have a triangular setup here, where Fetish is able to take picks on connector. And with the lack of nades going in, it's going to be down to just hitting the shots, which is what happens for Shroud. So now we're going to move into the defense coming in. And the setup is pretty damn strong from Dignitas. They had what looked very much like a Virtus Pro setup going there. Not with all of the amazing counter flashes that Virtus Pro have, but they shut down that A-split pretty well. And again, I just want to highlight just this this amazing setup that we had from Cloud9, the delayed move into mid after Dignitas had tried to play aggressive for information. And if we think about these teams in this tournament, they're often going to be thinking about how are they going to counter our opponents. They're going to do their research. Dignitas, very, very big team, definitely a contender for top 2, obviously, and this is something that Cloud9 would have looked at, and I'm absolutely positive that Cloud9 would have been watching the demos of Dignitas, and they know the propensity from Dignitas to play an aggressive CT side. So let's just get the ball rolling here. And oh, what happened? Oh no, we're getting the same bug again. Is it going to crash? Oh no. I don't know what's up with the game today, but it's going to crash again. So guys, I'm just going to reboot the game here and get things started again. We're round 14, so we're like halfway through. So yeah, we're about to get halfway through. So I'm going to take the moment to go for a very small break, and you guys can, as we've been going for 40 minutes now, and you guys can actually just leave me some questions in the chat whilst I restart the game and get everything sorted again. So all right, just 2 minutes break in, and we're going to go into this last round for this half, and then we're going to go into the second half of Cloud9 and Dignitas here, and check out how Dignitas actually manage the T side and how Cloud9 actually do setups on the CT side. Because Cloud9 do a lot of really interesting stuff, which to me suggests that they have been watching Dignitas demos. So here we go. Just get this rolling for the quick break. So see you any second. Alright, so we're back into the game then, and everything should be working, hopefully. We have ourselves our trusty little overview we can draw on it and stuff. It's pretty damn cool. So let's get started with this round. This is the 14th round. As you guys can see, as I give sound back to CS, I give CS the gift of sound, the gift that keeps on giving. And double check the volume. There we go, all fixed. Alright, so this round we're going to see a setup here from Cloud9. And if we look at again at the money, we're looking at a situation for Cloud9 where they know that if they lose this round, they are money screwed. They have nothing on the next round. So this is a pretty important one for Cloud9. And we're going to see that the call for Cloud9 is actually going to be a two-man slope, two-man palace rush on A, where they have Sean Gares, not with a sneaky bomb or anything, but he's just straight up going to sit here in the B house and try to catch someone rotating. So it's actually kind of weird. And this is the first little strategy we're gonna see from Cloud9, where I'm a little bit skeptical on its effectiveness, because Sean Gares seems somewhat useless in this position. He's not going to go through underpass. He's actually going to wait and try to catch Zipnix as he rotates through kitchen. So we'll see that as the round progresses. But here we go. As we go to normal speed, we're going to see the specking of Vendetta again. And I'll get to your question, Bray, in a moment. Thanks for that. And alright, so they're just waiting for the initial smokes to disappear. We've got Device, as we can see. You know, he's defending up here from Palace. And they just are going to just go for the straight up rush. And Hiko obviously going through the smoke there makes it impossible to even get a pick onto Device, as he can't see that position. So they didn't wait long enough for the smokes. And we see all this action going on. And then we see Sean Gares decides to jump down out a window. And it's largely ineffective. Honestly, I feel like they should have looked at any of the other rounds that they'd taken. One of the early rounds maybe, where they had a really nice play where they had two men pushing house, who then eventually went through underpass, but they, you know, smoked this area. So Zipnix was like, you know, what the hell's going on? And AZ came back from short and moved to look and show his attention towards the B site into the house, whilst they sneakily went three men actually up towards connector, and then just rushed through with a combined push from Slope and Palace. Like, that standard round looked really strong, and I'm surprised they didn't go on that. I'm surprised we didn't see, you know, maybe one of their delayed mid takes, something a bit more standard. But a straight up rush here when they had the opportunity to do a lot more in an important round, I'm a little bit surprised as to the call there. But regardless, we're going to move into the second half now, because this is just a slaughter on the terrible buy that Cloud9 has. So we have a 10-5 scoreline, and we all know that Cloud9 come back and win this. So as I turn my page to look at the other sheet of notes that I have, of course we have to check out the pistol round again. The pistol round wasn't so eventful. Looking at the first half, it was a pretty straight up pistol, as you'd expect. A pretty dry rush and a lot of angels. Not a lot of decision making going on there. But this one, we're going to see a little bit of decision making going on here. We're going to end up in a 2-on-2. And a 2-on-2 situation is going to be quite interesting to think about. So the bomb is down, and that is something that Cloud9 has seen. So we're still at 3-on-3 here, and the bomb is still at kind of the mercy of Cloud9, as it's kind of stuck there near CT's slope, CT spawn. Okay, and so now we got a 2v3, and a pick should be coming soon. Just wait for this pick to happen, because at this point, all that they can really do is try to get a pick here, and Cloud9 should be absolutely denying all the angles, because the bomb again is down there. They have to go for this bomb. Fetish is going to actually make his way around and get the kill, I think, here. Should be getting this kill. There it is. So Fetish, after making that kill, has done an amazing job, and in a 2-on-3 he managed to find a 1-on-1, and that allowed him to equalize this. And that's exactly the way that you need to try to play this. Look for those 1-on-1s. So it's kind of a bit of a misplay from Cloud9 to allow for that to happen, but that position at connector was really tough to deal with. So now they have to go retrieve the bomb. And if we look at what is happening here, Semphis actually decides to go all the way around very quickly. I think he committed to this decision after his mate died in connector. So this is kind of weird, because what's happening is now Cloud9 have left Nothing alone in kind of a 1-on-2, which Nothing can never take. He can never take this 1-on-2. You want to kind of avoid this fight, generally speaking, anyway, and just play. He needs to play for 1-on-2 for right now, and so he just has to just keep himself alive so his teammate can come into effect through connector eventually. And he needs to make sure that if he does go for a fight, it's a one-on-one because Fetish is planting the bomb. And that's kind of what's going on here. But this is a bit of an awkward situation now all of a sudden for Cloud9. Because Fetish is going to get this down, and he's going to have Device to kind of cover him. So as we go back and speed things up a little bit, now all of a sudden, you know, Semphis has made his way around. But this is still a really awkward situation, as Fetish actually heard him, and he's making the move around through CT. So I draw the worst arrow ever seen. And his position is largely unknown now. As you can see, Semphis, he has no idea where Fetish is. So this move from Fetish was actually just genius. Absolute genius. Semphis was convinced that he was coming from jungle or something like that. So really awkward round from Cloud9. A bit surprised about the decision making, not to just play it standard. They had an advantage. It really looked like Cloud9 should have won that situation. So pistol rounds can always be a bit awkward and a bit strange. And I'm just gonna try to answer your question now, Bray, as you're so kind to ask one. So as far as oh my god, there are so many moments that are really cool. I think the Freiburg moment was one of the coolest moments, where he managed to on cobble, you know, gun down the planter to win a round, because that is just so incredibly tight. I mean, of course, Freiburg had an amazing clutch in the end of Inferno as well. But I don't know, that defuse situation, that was just, or rather the planting situation there, that's got to be one of my favorite moments that springs to mind. So as we jump back in here, we're going to go to round number 17, and oh, let's see if this actually works. Is it still working? Is it still working? Please be working. Please be working. Please be working. Please be, yes. Okay, good. It's not going to mess up again. Okay, good. Sometimes it messes up when I do that. All right, so we're on round number 17 now. And in this round, we're going to see, basically this round is Sean Gares. This is Sean Gares' territory right now, this round. So let's just check out how this buy goes. Obviously, Cloud9 are in a pretty horrible situation when it comes to the buy. They're just, you know, they go for, Sean Gares goes for the scout. He had just enough money for armor as well. So it's just like a full buy, like pistol armor buy for his team. And this is obviously, okay, so this is, again, something that in-game leaders are looking out for all the time. You force a buy because if you win that round, even if you're disadvantaged to win the round, if you do win the round though, you're going to be in a much better economic position than your opponents in the following rounds. So this is one of those rounds where the economy is the reason why they went for a full buy here. And this round is one of, probably could be very well one of the most important rounds. And this performance from Sean Gares is just incredibly crucial. So he goes down to 36 health there, quickly moves position. And now I cannot stress enough just how much individual skill goes into this round from Sean Gares, and just how this play we're about to see, like, there's not much analysis to do. Rounds when it comes to just the pistoling, it's all about good tactical play, and we didn't see that because actually Vendetta was, I guess, pressing the tab. So let's try to do that again, because we've got to see that jump headshot. We just have to see that. Let's go back. Let's go back to that and quickly find it. All right. Oh, got the little circle. It's like it wants to crash, but nope. You're not going to crash on me now. All right. So let's get ourselves off of this. I mean, I shouldn't be on the caster view right now, so it's pretty strange that happened. All right, here we are. So normal speed. Let's even get a slow-mo here. Let's get a slow-mo. Please no. Please don't block it. Please don't block it. I'm not pressing anything, and it's not on the kind of it's not on the cameraman, so we should. But it's still doing it. What the hell? Okay, I cancelled it just at times for us to see that insane half speed, slow mode, awesome headshot there from Sean Gares, and this is just so important right now because he's slowing down the push a little bit from Team Dignitas, and from seeing that player and from the information the rest of his team has, they have good info now. So another good tag, and there's all this damage being done, and another ridiculous headshot from Sean Gares, and you can't, even on a show about analysis, you can't help but just get excited for scout play like this, because look at the round now. With all the damage that's been done by him and his teammates, even though he shot a bullet into Hiko, it's going to go the way here. As we look at AZ, he's going to lose this one-on-one. And there you go. Incredibly important round one. Incredibly important round one. All because of Sean Gares heading some ridiculous scout headshots. Obviously his teammates played a part. Of course they did. But That, again, incredibly important round, because now we look at the economic situation, and it's one of those rounds where you rarely win it, but you kind of have to take that. And I was talking to Happy about this earlier, and Happy was telling me basically all of the buys that, well, the way that you look at buys is always going to be about like a force buy in that situation. You're always going to look for the force buy there. If you know that your opponents have a buy like that, or rather economy like that, you're going for the force buy. So, as we're moving on here, what round are we on? We're on 18. Okay, next round I want to go to is round number 20. So let's quickly jump to round number 20. Alright, so we're in round number 20. Alright. Okay, this is gonna be a cool one, if I remember correctly, just looking at my notes here. Alright, so this round is gonna be about what can be achieved when you push a man into a good position. And we're gonna see how this, we're actually in slow-mo here, let's speed it up a little bit. And we can go to the cameraman. Okay, so we see the smoke going over. Lovely, lovely stuff there, lovely jubbly. And that's, you know, one of those perfect smokes that really completely smokes out the window, which is great. So what this allows Dignitas to do is a very fast take of mid, as we're seeing right here. So we can see a very fast take of mid. They can't see anything on connector. And AZ is looking at the angle for Hiko. So AZ's the man right there. He's seeing if there's like a really fast timing for a man to have this angle, and if there isn't, Dupree's able to very quickly move into whorehouse, or I'm probably going to start calling it ladder room because it's much more cast friendly than saying whorehouse. So so Dupree's going to get himself kind of dug in this kind of like this position in the ladder room, and that is like, if we watch this round, we're going to see that seems to be the complete objective of Dignitas here. So if we look at their movement, this is another one of those A setups. We saw Cloud9 do something similar. We saw them do one-man slope, one-man palace, but they had the 3 men through underpass in through connector. That was the way that Cloud9 did it. But here what we're seeing is they moved Dupree up into this position, and actually, I recalled it slightly incorrectly there, but nevertheless, we're going to see something very unexpected and interesting. And something that I would have liked about this is, if we go to Dupree right now, we're going to see, we can't actually see, but if we look behind him and go to free cam. Oh, we can't go to 3 cam because it's paused. So let me just go to slow motion, and I can quickly show you. That has not been shot out. What they could have done is naded that. That would have been very believable and hard for Cloud9 to read. But obviously his position's a little bit compromised if he has to actually pop the vent or pop the metal there. So, all right, let's just go back to the overview here. We're going to go to half speed. Let's just see how Cloud9 are positioned. Now, Cloud9 do a lot of this. They do a lot of 3-man A, 1-man kind of around mid jungle, and then Hiko holding B down by himself. Like this is what we're going to see happen a lot. And they're doing a similar setup here, where Semphis, you see, he feels that this is very dangerous, this area, so he's watching it from over here, so that Shroud is safe on jungle. And we're going to see the execution coming in now. And if we just look at the overview, as we're on half speed here, we can see Dupree, whilst all the firing is going on, we can see Dupree is moving in here now. So the kills have been going down on slope. Their whole focus is around slope, and it's around palace. That is where they're looking. We can see Shroud's looking this way, Semphis looking this way, Nothing looking this way, and Sean and Gares is like hiding around here. So a lot of squiggly lines there. But Dupree is in a very important position here to make something happen. So obviously, a lot of this is down to Dupree, and entering in a timely manner, and he can obviously shoot players who are behind the smoke. So if there is a kind of a retake play behind smoke, to wait for the smokes to go down and then retake, Dupree's in an amazing position. But we see that what happens in reality is that Dignitas run into this setup of Cloud9, and we're actually going to look at this again. So we're going to look at how Cloud9 effectively stopped this rush, because it's really cool to see how Dignitas, what their plan was there. And of course, it's really nice to see such a wealth of strategies, because we've already seen so many variations of mid play. We've seen so many variations of how to take A, how to take B. Most of it's about A, mostly, but generally all these different variations. This just we've covered quite a lot already. We're barely halfway into the game. We're just over halfway into the game even. Sorry. So let's move into this and see how this goes. We'll go to normal speed, and the men. For the immediate defense, kind of like at slope and palace and on the side, we're gonna watch them and see how they hold it down. We're gonna slow it down a little bit, and I'm going to watch how they actually manage this, because one of the reasons why Virtus Pro are so good at holding down the bomb site and doing it without AWPs and stuff is because their counter-flashing setups are so amazing, and their team play is so amazing. And we see this kind of triangle. This is like kind of the triangle here, the kind of Mirage triangle, and this triangle can, you know, is often between these 3 points. And this gives them a lot of opportunities for throwing counter flashes over for each other. So let's see again how this actually goes. Did I go back correctly? Yes, I did. Okay, yeah, of course they put Dupree in mid here first. So just look at the effort, the work going in here. There's so much presence in mid, so much work going into this round from Dignitas, and Dupree has a really nice position. There's just no denying it. Again, would love a nade here, whilst they smoke it. Like, would love a nade to blow this little metal thing out so that Dupree can be silent, moving out. But now we see, of course, the rotation back. We saw Sean Gares, Nothing, and Shroud are going to be the men. So, okay, that's pretty easy on the numbers as well. 5, 6, 7 for me. So here's Nothing. We're going to be in slow motion here. Actually, let's speed up a little bit so they get a bit closer. And now we're going to go in slow motion. So we have Sean Gares over at Shadow. We got Nothing here covering Sean Gares, covering, like, because the problem here is that, okay, let's understand, why is Nothing looking here? Why is he not like looking at another position here? Now we see it to be very common at this point in the game that Sean Gares' position, the Shadow, it gets Molotoved, and you cannot do anything about that. There's just nothing you can do about it. And once he's Molotoved, he can't do anything about the guys spilling out from Palace. And, you know, his immediate concern is also going to be the guys coming at him from the slope. So he needs someone, and it's going to be Nothing, to actually make sure that he's covered there. And so that's a, you know, a very nice little setup that they have. And obviously, you know, Nothing is in a position where if I can just use a number, if they actually charge down Sean Gares and you know, they counter flash and stuff, and no one, and let's say they've smoked Palace out, actually, you know, we're in a position here where you can actually just, Nothing can easily pop out, and if Sean Gares gets killed, Nothing gets the revenge frag almost immediately. So this is such a nice little setup, a little team play setup from them, and this is something that maybe people can look at when they're thinking about taking the A bomb site. So let's go back into this here and unpause it. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's unpause this one. We're still at half speed, so we get to see this rush coming in slowly, so we get to see what the players are doing. Counter flash going to be coming in here. There's a counter flash. Okay, where is Shroud? He's coming up. He's smoked off. So it's all about Nothing. It's all about Sean Gares here. Sean Gares with a counter flash kills one blind opponent. He's got the cover from Nothing. We see Sean Gares gets the frag. Nothing still covering, but there's nothing there, so he can switch and help. And then falls back. Shroud gets into a better position. Hopefully, come on, Shroud. There you are. Shroud gets through the smoke because, and the only reason that Shroud is able to get through the smoke is because Sean Gares and Nothing were able to hold down a defense with good, you know, good frags, good counter flashing and stuff like that. So overall, you know, just a really good defense, just good team play, really good team play. That's all it was from on the A site there. And good team play, good individual performances on the execution. Very basic stuff for an A hold. Very basic stuff. And we didn't see something extremely special from Dignitas, like an opening one shot. It's very hard when you're blind to do that. So there you go. There's the power of some simple team play. So let's see what the next round is that I wanted to go to. Okay, round 22. I wanted to go to. Obviously, you can see probably why that is the case. Actually, there will probably be in the future an episode where I talk about how, you know, anti-ecos and options on anti-ecos, and I take rounds from different games about anti-ecos, where you're on CZs and you don't have many, you know, nades and stuff, and we can look at the options there and really look at that. But this is all about, I'm going to be doing all the ESL One games and just like looking at some of the important rounds. What can we learn? What is cool that we saw? You know, just slowing it down a little bit so we can look at it all in more depth. So just jumping into the next round. Boom. And so we're into round 22, and we can once again enable Vendetta for a little bit. And right, so this is another strategy. We're going to see another strat here. What it will be is a very fast connector take, or very fast connector push here. So as we check the map here, we're going to see just a straight up run from Dupree. Look at the timing. He doesn't stop running. Doesn't stop running. Instantly gets a frag, and we're going to see some ridiculous play coming in, I think, on this. Oh, no, it might be another round. But yeah, there you go. Very fast connector play. What that does is we have a situation where all the attention's on connector, and let's just go back. Let's go back and see how this looks and feels from the perspective of the Cloud9 guys, of Sean Gares, and of Nothing. Because we saw them last round, holding down Slope, holding down Palace. But how do they feel, you know, what is their reaction? How does it work with their setup when Connector gets attacked very quickly and they lose? I think they lose Shroud straight away. I think that's because that's the man that does the kind of stairs position. So let's quickly just check this out. And we're gonna have to slow it down. And oh, okay, They're doing a slightly different setup here as well. They're actually going 2-man B. They don't do this very often. So this is kind of like a perfect storm here for Dignitas. Let's just get to the right POV here. Alright, Sean Gares. Sean Gares is... Okay, so we can see now, by looking at the demo, why they changed their setup. It's because Sean Gares has himself a Scar. And that's the entire reason why we see this setup here. So let's look at his position a little bit with the Scar. Okay, because that can obviously tell us a lot. If you're going to put a man with a Scar on the site and he's going to be this far up, we might as well look and analyze the position and see what the strengths are. What are the strengths? We have a good vantage point here on the slope, if the guy's pushing slope. And what is the fallback potential? Because when you have a sniper, the thing that you don't want is guys getting on top of you. Because that, of course, you know, then your sniper rifle doesn't have quite as a big of an advantage as it normally would. So the fallback potential isn't very good for Sean Gares. Right here, we can see he can maybe fall back to this position. Kind of not really. I mean, this is kind of the only safe area that he can really fall back to. The kind of toll booth and these little stack of barrels, whatever they are. So it's a pretty tough spot if they do a straight up rush. But if they try to pick, if they try to go for picks into this position, Sean Gares will just murder them. So if they're playing a picking round here, that's going to be very tough for them to deal with. But obviously they got this fast connector push going on. We're going to see Sean Gares in his reaction here. So he loses a player, and he knows that the setup is a bit weak on A. So he has to turn his attention, and he gets one frag, but another player comes in and takes him down. So this is just unlucky because of the setup here. This is Dignitas making the right call. They had no idea Naughty Sniper was in play. They had no idea the effect that would have on the setup for Cloud9. So this is just one of those rounds. It happens in CS where, because both teams, you know, can never know exactly what's happening all the time. So that's basically how Dignitas got the site so quickly here. So a little bit of luck, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. So now we're in a 3-on-3 situation, and it's always worth looking at these. We got the post plant. Not a lot of time was allowed Dignitas to make a setup, but of course we have a pretty decent setup. We have Device in Palace, and Device, they all have AKs, and we got Zipniks over here by Tetris or jump boxes. We got Fetish in the toll booth, so they have a good you know, angle here. All of them, they can help each other out a lot. Device can make small little peeks and be annoying. And the thing with Device's position here is that Device doesn't necessarily have to get frags. What he has to do is he has to stop people running close to Zipniks, and he has to provide presence. And it's you can call it presence or you can call it threat. I think Devilwalk really likes to call this the threat. I think that the phrase that Devil likes is the threat is bigger than the execution. So the threat of something has more of an impact than actually executing what that threat would be. So the impact of Device actually peeking out here and taking aim duels, for example, that's much less scary than Device just being here and being able to peek out at any time. That's what's scary for them, because they have to kill Zipniks. And if they can kill Zipniks, then Fetish is kind of screwed, because Fetish is isolated. So it's kind of all about killing Zipniks in this position. So, and they can attack from 2 angles, so we'll see how Cloud9 handles this. But this is a very difficult situation, so let's just check it out as it unfolds. We'll go to the Vendetta cam, and we'll get to see how this actually goes down. So it is a good setup by Dignitas though. With the little time they had to work with, it was well played by them. So you can see that they're trying to smoke out Zipniks' position here. Zipniks has to be... Okay, let's look at how this smoke affects this position, because this is pretty damn cool actually. You can't... It's unfortunate we can't see... Oh, we can see the smoke here. So look at this. The smoke covers all this. So Zipniks cannot be peeking from here. The only place that he can peek from, and they know that there's a guy there, is there. So now Semphis' life is so easy. He knows he has to aim up there, and Hiko gets to deal with Device easily. And coming up from stairs, a little one-on-one, he wins the one-on-one. And all of a sudden, because of this smoke, and Zipniks is useless, he has to go in a place where Semphis just holds his crosshair. And Fetish is the only guy right now who has any chance of doing anything here. So let's see what Fetish is able to accomplish. So he's able to actually get the surprise on Nothing. But now, they didn't actually kill Zipniks. So Zipniks managed to survive there. So that's really, really well played by him, that he kept hidden in that perspective. I thought from that Angel he was going to die, but he managed to stay alive, and you can see the power of that right now. So we get the one-on-one. And this is very, very basic CS stuff. You gotta provide the threat that you're gonna shoot him so that he can't defuse. So very simple. Let's play this at normal speed here. Synmix goes out, and it's a hidden plant, so he had to go for it there. But there was enough time killed, so really well played by Dignitas. And Cloud9, I feel like they did everything right there. The only thing is that they didn't kill Xyp9x fast enough. That was the only problem. And Xyp9x could then use the smoke to his advantage. Obviously, pretty cool round there from all manner of things. Very close round. Great round to watch when you get to see that in competitive CS. So, round 23. Alright, so this is going to be about Dignitas making the right call and getting the situation that they need. So we're going to see this movement into mid from Dignitas, and they just get kind of murdered on short because we basically have a failed smoke. There's a failed smoke, and Semphis actually was able to make a frag. Semphis died, so we can't. Let's just go back to this quickly because this is pretty bad for Team Dignitas, and we missed it. So let's go back to it. I have so many notes. I actually sometimes miss some bits of it. So as the game decides whether it will crash or not, we go back to the next round, to the previous round, or to the beginning of that round, as I get it right. Finally, so we'll find Semphis. He is number. Let's see. He is number 0. So let's just check out Semphis here. And all right, here we go. Okay, so Semphis, he just wants to peek, see what's happening in mid. That's what he's doing. Failed smoke. Failed smoke. And Semphis knows that that smoke was placed there for a reason. They're not just going to smoke mid. They're going to smoke mid for 2 reasons. One, to cover them as they make an approach, and to provide, and just to obscure information so that they don't know. Well, it allows them to approach and for Cloud9 not to know, basically. That's the entire point of the smoke, if they take it a silent push up short. Or it's just if they go for the rush, for the, just to cover them, very basic stuff there. So, if you're in Semphis' position, that smoke tells you that you might actually have a window for a pick. So Semphis gets to stay in this position. And we're going to stay on Semphis too. And look at that. He gets to go for his pick. If that smoke wasn't there, there's pretty much no way that he's going to go for that pick. And if we look at the buy for Cloud9, it's pretty desperate. So that's already going to be a mistake from Dignitas, just a simple smoke mistake that actually is going to hurt them. And we're going to see now them make their approach, and Hiko's going to stop them. Can I just take a moment, guys? Can I just take a moment? Can I just take a moment to just share with you, or maybe a moment of silence, because I talk so damn much. Hiko is a badass, and the fact that in this game, we're going to see more of it as we progress through, because we've got quite a few rounds left. We've got like 6 rounds left before we finish. I will upload the VOD to YouTube, as in, I will indeed. And Subsculp. So Hiko is a badass. This is the guy on a team with loads of individual skill, where they say, okay, against Dignitas, we're going to do loads of setups where we have one guy on B. One. And the rest of us are very far away from B. And Hiko's like, yep, me, that's me. That's me. And this is why. Hiko is just, honestly, he's fantastic to watch. So as we've just been done with our little Hiko Appreciation Society there that we just started, we're going to go back into this now. And we're going to hope that, because when I do that sometimes it oh no, did it crash? Are we good? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think the game crashed, guys. But, alright, so I'm going to go to the break screen. We're going to have 2 minutes then. I'm going to fix this so that I don't, you don't get to see the crash. I'm so sad. Alright, guys, be right back. Oh my god, what just happened? I just switched the scene and it crashed instantly. Oh my god, guys. Guys, look at that. Look at the border. The border is so lonely with nothing to fill it. It has no purpose anymore. It's just this bordering empty space. That's just such a waste. Okay, we're gonna go to the face cam. A bit of face cam. I'm gonna put the slap music on. I'm gonna load the game again, and this time it's gonna work. Sorry guys about this. It didn't happen last time. We have to investigate exactly what's causing this. You never know sometimes. Maybe a reboot would just fix everything. I don't know. That's usually what I try first. It's usually a good move. But it's okay. We're nearly done with this. We're on round 23, and we're going to do 25, 26, 28, 29, and 30 because this game gets so close. And it gets even more interesting. So yeah, I guess you just have to stick around to find out what happens. And to get more of a look into what is going on with these two teams. Because there's some interesting stuff, interesting observations that if Dignitas look back on this, they're going to kind of slap themselves in the face again and again. And obviously it's a group stage game. They still made it through the group, but you know, at the same time, it's never nice to be in that position. All right, so can I? Whoa, what the fuck is happening? Okay, dropping that F-bomb. You can tell I'm losing my composure. All right. Okay, so skipping the rounds now. This is really annoying. But we'll get there. We'll get there. You guys are my trusted viewers. You'll endure the pain with me. Alright, so round 23, 16, 17. Okay, we're there. We are there. I'm just going straight into it. It's like working and everything. Let's switch the scene. Don't crash. Oh my god. Alright. I'm going to try one more thing, and it should work. Holy shit. Technical difficulties are the best, yeah. Wouldn't be a live show without an inordinate amount of technical problems, would it? Especially a live show from me. I mean, my viewers are probably gobsmacked that I have like overlays and stuff now. Okay, so I'm loading the demo. This is really strange. I might have to reboot actually to just get a clean reboot because this has never happened before. So I'm sorry you're looking at a black screen right now. The reason is because I need to add a scene right now. So I add the scene right now for CS because when I switch to the scene, it decides to crash. So here we go. Game capture. Gonna get ourselves some CS on the go. Boom. There we go. So we're in CS and it should be working now. It should be working right now. Here we go. You guys ready? Because what you're going to see now is what I tried to avoid you seeing, which is obviously me doing various things. First of all, reducing the volume. I don't know why this is still on, but oh, it's show FPS. There we go. Move that, and now I have to just skip rounds. And the reason is because if I just went to the little tick thing, sometimes that's a little unreliable, and then it like doesn't necessarily freeze, but it's like really slow. It's much quicker just to spam through the round next, as we're doing right here. And we get to round 23. One more. Music off. Round 23. And the game is apparently working. Touch wood. So we're in. We're in again. And what is up, Spencer? Welcome to the show. Okay, so here we go. We are going to be watching Semphis, because this is what we were talking about when it crashed. Semphis in a great position to capitalize upon a mistake. He sees this, and to reiterate the point, he sees a smoke like that. He knows it's failed. He knows it's supposed to block vision, and so he has to go for the peak, and he easily gets a frag. The grenades do kill him, but already the damage is being done, because we're seeing Hiko already, as we switch quickly to Hiko. Oh yeah, we had our moment of Hiko appreciation. We see Hiko taking down the frag set, and he's doing B alone. He is stopping a B push by himself, more or less. He has some help from Semphis, but the thing is that when you're in a position like Hiko's, your job is to get at least 2 to 3 frags. Hiko manages to deliver a lot of the time. And this is the thing, this is what Cloud9 are confident on. They're confident on a lot of A plays, obviously, from Dignitas, and they're confident that Hiko will deliver if he is put to a clutch situation. So there you go. That's just let's just go back once again, because there's one more thing from that round that we need to see very quickly, as I did make a note about it. All right. Okay. Oh no, please no, please no. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please. Okay, cool. Alright, we're good. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, I'm stressing out so much. Anyway, we're on round 24 because it only went back 1 round because it didn't go quickly enough. Okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. Let's just go forward 1 more round. It wasn't a big deal. I was basically going to show a decision-making process from Dignitas to create a very ton of bad situation into an okay situation. But it's alright. We're going to see some more interesting stuff here as we go through the demo. So here we go. We're on round 25. Alright, so this is going to be a very fast A set play. And the problem is that we already talked about the setup from Sean Gares from nothing. Here, look at this. Sean Gares and nothing. Nothing going to be pushing in close here on top of the smoke. And again, just murdering them. This guy, all of Cloud9, they are beasts when it comes to execution. Just through the smoke, why not? And the thing about that round is that we were looking at a buy from Dignitas, and they went for a very fast play, and it was very painful for them to do that. Because if we look at generally how Cloud9 have been playing, if Dignitas have really keeping tabs on this, they have always been seeing like a very kind of strong setup close around. Well, usually the setup's like kind of like this, and the setup's kind of like close like this. And they often have a supporting player very close there. And whenever they take mid, they don't often see much of a focus on middle here. Some teams like to focus on middle control a lot, where they will try to battle for middle control. They'll take good spawns. They'll run them around to connector. They'll make the little peaks and try the shots. We saw Dignitas did that. We saw Dignitas. They like to do that. When they were playing CT, we see aggressions from short. We see these double peaks from these angles. Sometimes we see the flash coming over from short. We see the peak on mid. There's so many options for mid aggression. We're not seeing that very much from Cloud9. They're playing like a more powerful setup on A than Virtus Pro because they have extra manpower, and Dignitas keep running into this, and this is becoming a problem for Dignitas. So we're going to see a picking setup now, and the whole point of this picking setup is they're looking for an A split, but they're first of all looking for a pick. So again, look at this from Cloud9. Look at this, and here comes the aggressive push. Look at how they're supporting each other. They have the smoke. They're all very close. They can completely shut down any aggression towards this area, but we have the mid push coming in from Dignitas now. So that little play from Cloud9, obviously they realize that a lot of love is being shown towards the A so far, so they're going for stuff like that. And if we just check the positions here, we've got Sean Gares. He's very close on connector right now, and they've abandoned A. Now this is so interesting. What on earth would possess them to actually just be like, okay, let's just leave A. Let's just leave A. What would possess them to do that? Now, they know that there's presence in mid, and they haven't seen much on B, but other than that, what information do they really have? The thing is that sometimes when you're playing CT, if we think about how the game works, and what I'll do is I'll keep the game going, and I'll go on half speed. So the way that it works is that you have expectations about how your opponents play, and by doing this, Cloud9 are kind of mixing it up massively. And if we look at Shroud and Semphis right now, if we can just find them there, Shroud and Semphis, they have a very tight setup here towards connector and window. So they basically feel right now that there's nothing that's going to happen on slope. They push Palace, and there was nothing there. That doesn't mean that there can't be something slope, but they're basically going all in on this read. And this is what we're seeing right now is Dignitas taking it slow. And what this does is that when teams look for information, let's say we have a push from push down here. Eco's like, wow, guys, there's nothing on B. So now, in a situation like that, the attention is going to be turned towards mid. It's going to be turned towards an A play. But if you just have the players of Team Dignitas, let's say they were just sitting here, like 2 or 3 players, they're just sitting here, two or three players, they just wait, then all of a sudden the timings that the Cloud9 used to get the information to have this push, suddenly it kind of starts to get more useless the more time that goes on, because Dignitas aren't doing anything. They would just be sitting back, and then the delayed mid push comes in, and then you go like, oh shit, it's actually an A split, or oh shit, it's actually a B split. Like if you delay stuff like that, it kind of can remove the importance or rather the valid what's the word I'm looking for here? It basically makes that information worth less, is what I'm trying to say. So we're seeing a very slow picking setup here, and because Cloud9 played that very aggressive first opening round little play onto slope and to palace, they're going to be starting to think about, okay guys, we have to take positions back to be safe. But Sempus looks for information, and he's going to see one mid, and this is exactly the same time as they're coming in through connector here, and nothing's obviously going to sprint back. So this was a really well played round by Dignitas, because they waited, and they made Cloud9's information useless. Cloud9 though, they managed to pick up loads of frags because they're badasses, but yeah. So Fetish in a 1-on-2 right now, and this is so difficult, so difficult. He doesn't know exactly where both players are, but he is obviously looking in the right place. He actually tags Sempus. If he had actually connected with Sempus properly, he would have had a 1-on-1, and it's very winnable. But 2-on-1 when they're rushing you down when you have an AWP is pretty impossible. So we get another win there, and we're going to be doing every single round now because all the rounds are important. It's 14-12, around 27-30. And we're seeing a pretty terrible situation here. In fact, actually, screw it. Let's skip this one because we've been live for an hour and a half now. I'm just gonna blast through this round. It's pretty easy. That's why I actually wrote my notes not to do this round. So now we move into the next round. All right, round number 28. What we got on our hands here is another aggressive, proactive play to gain information from Cloud9. We're going to see a pop flash into slope. We're going to see Nothing be the man here. So let's check out Nothing real quick. There he is. So Nothing is going to get naded in here. There's actually a Molotov there, but there should be a nade coming over at some point if I remember correctly. Wait for it. There it is. Boom. There it is. There's the peek. Spots 2 players. So let's pause it. Okay. What do they know? Nothing just saw 2 players here. Hiko sees a smoke here, and he may have heard something over here. I'd have to go back in the demo to see if they'd actually made noise. But in fact, let's do that. Let's just do that. We need to see exactly what Cloud9 have information-wise. It's so important because Nothing eliminated a possibility there by seeing 2 players. If Hiko got a piece of the puzzle as well over at B, then we can understand kind of the thinking that Cloud9 has. And if Cloud9 don't have enough pieces of the puzzle to put together, then they can't really make a call and they have to play it safe. So if they're able to have enough pieces of the puzzle, then obviously it's going to be a good situation for them. So that's what they're looking for. So let's just check out Hiko here. Alright. Let's see what he sees. Jumping. Sees a smoke. Throws a grenade. Not hearing anything. No stepping at all, nothing. So, okay, they're silent on this part of the map, completely silent. And we see that the bomb is actually here. So now, from the spectator's point of view, we know this is a fake. So we know this is a fake. And Hiko is going to be sitting here, still sees nothing. So this is a call now for Cloud9. After seeing 2 guys, what they can do is they can use the information and confirm the play. If they confirm the play, then that's a risk because they're going to need to flash a guy in, they're going to need to make it safe somehow. Like, getting information is always going to have risks, but you can make it safer by the use of like team play and grenades. So if they can confirm the play, then they can defend against it better, or they can sit back and just wait and be reactive. And that's, of course, that sucks. But let's see how it actually goes here. So a smoke into Palace, and a little flash there into slope there. So nothing's happening. So Team Dignitas, as far as everything's concerned, the fake is working. The fake is working right now. What is happening, Hiko? Hiko's moving. Let's check out Hiko. Let's check out Hiko. Hiko's moving towards short. So if he's moving towards short and he's worried about that, wow, what is that on the screen there? That's really weird. Then that really does mean that they have sold this. They're selling this fake pretty well right now. Hiko's gonna so that throw of a Molotov in. Let's look at the position here. It should be connector. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We have to actually unpause this. Is it connector? No, actually it was this position here. I've been playing with Swedes and they call it Picoline. I don't know what other people call it, but they call it Picoline, this position. But I thought he threw that at connector. But never mind. Let's continue here. So it's selling the fake, selling the fake. That's what Dignitas are trying to do. Sell the fake, sell the fake. They're waiting a lot of time here. And if they wait enough time, you know, Cloud9 are going to think that, okay, it's going to be a committed play towards A. Here we go. And in comes push from Dignitas finally. And we can see, look at this. Look how well they sold this fake. They have sold the shit out of this fake right now. We're even going to see some kills coming in. And actually, we're seeing the movement on Dignitas' side. They're being incredibly cautious over at B. We can see on the minimap, they're being so cautious. Now Hiko's coming back. Hiko finally figured it out. So let's see what Hiko's able to accomplish here. Obviously, like, this is a very well played strategy from Dignitas, and it all comes down to execution at this point. They completely sold the fake. Hiko, he just about stopped himself in time, and he's going to get on top of the site before they can set up. Man mode engaged, puts it to a 2-on-2, but it's a problematic situation because he doesn't have immediate support from Shroud, and we can see that he's going to easily be able to handle the situation pretty much by himself there. And yeah. Pretty well saved by Hiko. Super clutch, this guy. Alright, so we're going to round 29, and we're close to the end here. Alright, so we just saw that, and we've seen a few rounds where Hiko's alone on B. We've seen more than one round, right, where we got like 4 players in A. So this is something that Dignitas haven't really been getting a feel for. And we're seeing another A play coming in from them. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing that maybe, like, Cloud9 have been worried that Hiko has been on B alone and that there hasn't been a huge amount of action all the time. So maybe this will be the round that Dignitas hit it. Dignitas are going for a very fast A push. And what we can see here is that Cloud9's Hiko and Nothing are in this position to play, like, aggressively so that they can... Look at these positions. This tells you everything. Retake, retake, retake. Because smokes will come across here. They're going to come in together. That's kind of the plan for a setup like this. They leave it completely open. So this is a retake setup here from Cloud9. And Hiko's just double checking because he doesn't want to get blindsided by the bomber. And there go the smokes. And Dupree is just ridiculous. Mowing down 3 guys. Absolutely insane play from Dupree there. And that puts it to a 4-on-2. But Sean Gares is still alive with the auto sniper at CT spawn. We've got Hiko, who's forever a clutcher, who's over at jungle. So this situation should be nigh on impossible. But Hiko with a quick kill, AZ not looking in the right spot. And this, you could really palm this down to bad communication. Again, Xyp9x, what was he doing there? Xyp9x was looking towards CT spawn. Xyp9x had this angle. He had this very fine angle into CT spawn like this. Because he was worried about a player coming from CT spawn, but of course Sean Gares already went over the top here, timing his push in with Hiko as Hiko moves in. He's timing that push, and they have to try to eliminate players all the way this way, obviously. But the problem is they don't know about Dupree. They don't know about Dupree. So Dupree's in a really good position here. This is pretty much all on Dupree to save this round at this point. And it's 2-on-2, and Hiko's going to turn around and kill him, because Hiko just knows. And the problem is Fetish gets put into a position where he cannot do anything because of the way the bomb was planted there. Like he would have to be very exposed on the angle, and he's in a 2-on-1. So like Hiko's just so good at finding the frags. He's so good at going forth confidently that honestly you got to give the guy like massive credit, because he's just one of the best clutches we've seen at the last tournament, ESL One. One of the most enjoyable players to watch. Always amazing under pressure. So last round, guys, 30-30. And I just want to highlight how many times Dignitas have failed pushing in onto A. How many times they've actually failed on the post-plant setups as well. Another A push coming in. And again, let's pause this. What is happening over here? Nobody. Cloud9 are still playing this setup. And again, this could be an anti-stratting, major anti-stratting of Dignitas. But let's check this out. Sean Gares just chilling with the Scar. Like they have the money, they're going to use it. So, we haven't seen that position from him with the Scar before. He was much closer before. Now it's just Fetish left, wondering where the hell his teammates went. And boom, Cloud9 have won. Cloud9 have won it, and in doing so, they make one of their first big results at the tournament in the group stages, where they're in the groups with Dignitas and Titan. It is a really must-win for them, and they managed to do it and be ahead of Titan by doing so. So really sick game from our esteemed American players, and can't wait to see more from Cloud9. I think it was quite clear that they were trying to anti-strat, that they'd been watching some Dignitas demos. But yeah, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of TimeOut, which is what I'm calling it now. My CSGO analysis show where and I'm going to be doing a lot more. I think I have one scheduled for Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday at the same time. And I'm going to go through another game. I'm going to take all the interesting matches. I'm going to get suggestions. I'm going to be on Twitter looking and asking for suggestions on games to take from ESL One. And we can get to just see how the teams played, what strategies they used, the setups, the decision making, just a broad look, a broad analytical look. We're not going to focus in too hard on any one aspect of the game, like decision making for AWPers, anti-ecoing, thoughts and so on. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a good night. If you jumped in very late, I'll upload this to YouTube, so keep an eye on my channel for that. And I will see you next time. Good night.